Good morning. Your name, sir?
Anderson John.
All right, Mr. Anderson, you're here today because you were arrested on charge of trespass after warning. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and it looks like that you got in just under the wire. It looks like it didn't expire or expires on August 24th, but I do find sufficient probable cause. I'll set bond in the case. Do you want a public defender appointed?
No, sir.
You going to represent yourself?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Your Honor, there's also an offer from the state to resolve this case.
What's the offer?
Withholding credit for time served.
Mr. Anderson, if you want to resolve this case today, you can enter a plea of no contest and be a withhold of adjudication, so it's no conviction and just court costs and the time you've already served. So you get out today.
No contest.
You want to do that? All right, raise your right hand. Solemnly swear testimony I have to give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, you wish to enter a plea of no contest, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol today?
No, sir.
Have you suffered from or been treated for any mental illness in the past? Yes?
Sir.
Yes? Or no?
No, sir.
All righty. You understand that by entering your plea today, you're giving up certain rights. You give up the right to have a lawyer appointed, the right to proceed to trial, the right to require the state to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, the right to question any witnesses the state may have to testify against you, the right to have any witnesses that you wish brought to your defense, and finally, for you to testify or refuse to testify. You understand you're giving up all those rights today.
Yes, sir.
Finally, understand this is punishable by up to 60 days in jail, up to a $500 fine, and that the entry of your plea would result in deportation if you're not a citizen. Understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. I do find sufficient factual basis. I'll withhold adjudication, impose court costs, $50 cost of prosecution. The total is going to be $273, and you'll be sentenced to the time you've served here today. That $273, I'll give you a year to pay that off. Okay?
Yes, sir.
You're all set. You'll be released as to this case. James Davis.
You refuse, Your Honor.
What's that?
You refuse.
Oh, could have got out today. All right, refuse. You know, every note around here says, do not reset anything. Yeah. So unless the PD, I'll appoint a public defender, unless the public defender wants to waive it, I'm gonna reset it for tomorrow.
That's fine, Your Honor, you can reset it.
What's that?
You can reset it, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, just for the record, Mr. Milligan, who's being brought up, he has competency proceedings on.
Okay. Is that the one that's in my division right now?
Yes, that's
All
correct.
right. All right, your name, sir? Mr. Milligan, you're here today because state of Florida alleged, that you were actually arrested and charged with a camping charge. You already have one case in front of me. Let's do two things. First of all, I'll just change this to a Division 84 case, so it's in my division, because it's an 81. Yeah, the new case, so that we can handle it at the same time. I'm gonna set a bond. I'll just set $100 bond, and then will you let Sam know?
Yep.
And then we'll take care of it on the back end. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna appoint a public defender for you on the new case, okay, Mr. Milligan? I'm gonna take that case too, so both of your cases will be in front of me, so we can resolve them at the same time.
So what's up?
And no action on the other one. It's my understanding that they have an appointment, or should be having an appointment for you to see somebody to talk about your other case, but you're gonna have a lawyer on both, okay? All righty. Your lawyer will probably be out and see you within the next couple of days. All right.
Why you can't tell me what I did right now about the other case?
It's a camping charge. You were sleeping somewhere where you weren't supposed to be.
Sidewalk downtown.
Yeah, that's what it is. But your attorney will come out and talk to you about it, okay? All right, thank you.
Other case.
The other case you have is a trespass case. That's one you had already, and that's in front of me. That's an old case. Kimberly Wright. Your name, ma'am? Your name?
Really right?
All right, Ms. Wright, you're here today because you're arrested on charge of battery on an officer or firefighter. I have read the charging affidavit. I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. Bond is currently at $5,000. I'll reduce that bond to $1,000 and appoint a public defender to represent you. Okay? That one you might want to make a note too. She was Baker acted when she did it, so. Keith McKee. Your name, sir?
Hi,
Your name?
Keith.
Last name?
McKee.
All right, Mr. McKee, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of camping. I have read the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. Is there just a withhold time served camping?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. McKee, if you wish to enter a plea today, you just be sentenced to the time you served with court costs and the cost of prosecution, and that, in your case, would be time served. You want to do that?
Yes, sir.
All right, raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you wish to enter a plea of no contest to this charge?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
Have you suffered from or been treated for any mental illness in the past?
Yes.
All right, you understand what's happening here today? You understand what my job is, and you understand what the charge is?
Yes, I do.
All right. You understand that by entering this plea of no contest, you're going to give up all of these rights: the right to proceed to trial, the right to have a lawyer appointed to represent you at that trial, the right to require the state to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, the right to question any witnesses the state may bring to testify against you, the right to bring your own witnesses, and also the right to testify or refuse to testify. You understand you're giving up all those rights? Finally, you understand this is punishable by a maximum of up to 60 days in jail, up to a $500 fine, and that the entry of your plea would result in deportation if you're not a citizen. I do find sufficient factual basis. I will withhold adjudication. Since you the time you've served, there'll be a court cost and a $50 cost of prosecution. That is $273, and I'll give you a year to pay that.
Okay.
Your
All
Honor.
righty, you're all set. You'll be released as to this case.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I'm not aware if the state's able to, but the state's willing to not charge court costs or costs of prosecution, if possible.
That's what I did, didn't I?
You did do that, but we're willing to waive it.
Oh.
Just be credit time served.
Just waive the costs?
Yes, sir.
All right, so wait, state says waive cost, waive the court cost and the $50 cost of prosecution.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, yeah. Just waive the, whatever cost, yeah. All righty, your name, sir?
Brian A. Ibarra.
Mr. Ibarra, you're here today because you were arrested on a charge of trespass on a designated construction site.
Yes, sir.
I have read the charging affidavit. I've read the charging affidavit, and there is sufficient probable cause. Bond was set in the amount of $2,500? $2,500, I'll reduce that to $1,000. Okay, I'll appoint a public defender for you as well.
Is there any way I can get it reduced?
Reduce meaning what?
Just the
The bond?
reduction-
Or the charge?
The charge.
Oh, I don't know. That's the state's deal.
Not at this time.
Not at this time. Public
Okay.
defender, we'll talk to him. There's a good chance of that.
Okay.
All righty?
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Ricardo Francois. All right, your name, sir? All right, Mr. Francois, you're here today for a number of things. You were arrested on the charge of possession of ammunition by convicted felon, possession of firearm by convicted felon, and carrying concealed firearm. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and I do find there's sufficient probable causes to count one, bond is set in the amount of $5,000, count two, $150, count three, $150, and I'll appoint a public defender to represent you on that, so you have a lawyer, okay?
Yes, sir.
All righty, good luck. Mario Ravello.
Good behavior, Your Honor.
Reading the charges, I'm not surprised. Yeah, I'll appoint a public defender to represent him. And do you want to waive him and had to send me set bond, or?
Yeah, we can do that, Your Honor.
All right. Waive his appearance, state the bond at 1,000, and revoke RR, put a bond of 1,000 on that. On the old charge. Yep, yep. Yep. 1,000 new one, yep. On this, on the new one, 1,000. Revoke the ROR, put $1,000 bond on it, and 1,000 on the other. Uh-huh. Now we get into the busy ones. What was this? Who was the other person over there? Yeah, what is his case? Do we know what it's, oh, that was like an out-of-county warrant, wasn't it? It's gonna be way down here. Ricardo Alvarez? Is that it? Yeah. It's like, I think, the first one in the out-of-counties.
I believe it is a domestic violence case. And apparently he's in the back due to medical reasons. And with respect to, I'm sorry, my name is Carlos A. Perez Irizarry. And I am standing in,
This is it. Just 1 second, she's trying to find the paperwork. I think it's not an out-of-county, it's a DV from yesterday. Is this one that got reset? Oh, it was medical yesterday. Yeah, it's DV case. All right. Is he still medical?
Yes, he is, Your
All
Honor.
right, okay.
Ricardo Alvarez.
All right, so are you entering a notice of appearance in this case?
yes, Your Honor, it's a partial notice of appearance. I am
Okay,
here on behalf of Attorney Manny Marquez from Miami. He will be filing a notice of appearance in the case.
okay,
However, on behalf of Mr. Alvarez, I'm going to waive his presence, and I would respectfully request the court to set a bond.
okay,
The defendant in this case, is being held due to medical reasons, and I have been advised that he was a subject of a kidney transplant. So the longer that he stays in an environment which may put his health at risk, I believe that it would be in his best interest to allow him to be on bond.
all right, so what I'll do is I'll set a $500 bond. At this point, no contact.
He did
since
qualify for PTR, Your Honor.
He does?
He does.
All right, I'll PTR him. No contact, though, with the alleged victim at this point, since she's not here to indicate that she wants contact. No guns, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. So, but I'll PTR him, so that way, when he does get out of the hospital, he'll be released, okay?
Thank you, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Sorry we didn't call you out right away. I thought it was somewhere in the stack.
No worries.
All righty. Karen Salazar Bayer. Okay. What's that? Yes, yes.
Good afternoon, this is Dalia Romero, Spanish interpreter.
All right, we're going into the Spanish now. Okay. We use headsets here or no?
Yes.
All right, and she's going to have the headset on just momentarily.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, she does have the headset on.
Can hear the interpreter.
Yes, I can. Okay. Oh, yeah, before that switched over. All right, do you have contact?
Yes, Your Honor.
All righty. Your name, ma'am?
Karen Salazar.
All right, ma'am, you're here today because you were arrested on charge of battery domestic violence. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and I do find that there is sufficient probable cause. Do you live with Cesar Gomez, or did you live with him?
Sí.
You have another place to go
Yes.
for right now? You have another place to live other than with him? You do.
Yes.
All right, where can you go?
Con mi mamá.
With my mother.
All right. Then I will set bond in the amount of $500.
Qualify for PTR, Your Honor.
Yes? All right, I will release you through pretrial release, so there won't be a bond required. Now, you're not to have any contact with Cesar Gomez. Okay? No contact at all right now. No guns, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. You can return to the address that you lived with him one time with law enforcement, so you can pick up any personal items or clothing or anything you might need. All right? I will appoint a public defender for you. And Yeah, no return, only one time. All right, so you can only go back one time with law enforcement to pick up your items, okay? All righty, thank you.
I had a question for you.
Okay.
I have 2 kids with him. What's going on with my kids?
You can have
Can see them?
you can have third-party contact, so if he has the children, you can have someone else contact him only to ask about the children, but you can't do it yourself, okay? Now, at some point, it might be no hostile contact, or you'll be able to have contact with them, but right now, no contact, all right? But you can ask like your mother to contact him and ask about the children if you want, along those lines, okay? All right.
Pero mis hijos tienen. Okay, but my kids had her own phone, so I can call my kids through the phone or
As
not?
long as you don't have contact with him. Yes, you can call your kids. But if it's likely Mr. Gomez answers the phone or something, then you could violate the order.
No.
Okay? All right.
Okay, thank you.
I can do it if it's easier for you. I don't think we'll make it 1:30 today. Maybe though, you never know. Okay. All right, your name, ma'am?
Jamilka Rodriguez.
All right, ma'am, you're here for several matters. First of all, you're arrested on a charge of possession of fentanyl and cocaine. And I've read the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause in that. As to the possession of cocaine, the possession of
Qualify for PTR, Your Honor.
he does. Let's see what else we got here. All right, I will release you for the pretrial release program on both charges. Do not possess any drugs or alcohol. And then also you have a DUI charge.
Your Honor.
That's not her, it got
No,
stuck
that's not
together.
her.
Don't worry about it, thank you. Yeah. I'm trying to move along quicker.
Oh.
Let's combine these things and give them all more than one person. So yeah, so you'll be released pretrial release. No drugs, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Okay?
Gracias.
All righty, you're all set. Your name, sir? Put on the headset.
1 second, we just gotta clean the headsets.
All righty. All right, your name, sir?
Orbelin Hernandez Hernandez.
All right, sir, you're here today, so you're arrested on a charge of driving under the influence. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. He doesn't qualify, does he?
No, Your Honor.
Yeah. I'll set bond in the amount of $500, or leave the bond at $500. If you do bond out, you're not to drive without a valid Florida driver's license, and you're not to drink any alcohol. I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. Thank you, sir. Gotta clean them off each, yeah. All right, your name, sir?
Adalberto Mato.
Adalberto Matos.
All right, Mr. Matos, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of driving while under the influence and no valid driver's license. I've reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set in the amount of $500 on the driving while under the influence, and $100. I'm going to reduce the bond on the no valid driver's license. Do not operate a motor vehicle without a valid license while on bond, and you're not to imbibe with any alcohol. I'll appoint a public defender to represent you on both charges.
Okay.
Thank you. Your name, sir?
Hey,
David Aguila Martinez.
All right, sir, you're here today because you were arrested on 2 warrants from Lee County. On one of those warrants, there's a bond amount of $1,500, and on the second, there's a $500 bond. So you can make those bonds. Thank you.
Yo quiero explicarle algo aquí a la corte, que la otra vez yo estuve 40 días aquí y cuando ellos me vinieron a buscar me pusieron que me habían arrestado ese mismo día allá en Fort Myers.
I do want to make a comment. The last time I was here for 40 days, and when they came to pick me up, they said that I had just been arrested there in Fort Myers.
Okay, they have warrants out for you now. You're being held on those warrants, but there are bonds. It's $1,500 and $500. You bond out, and then you can return to Lee County and get that figured out. Thank you. That is, I think that might be it. These don't look Spanish. All right, is that it with the Spanish?
Yeah, that's it.
All righty, I think that's it for us. We'll call you back if we need you.
Okay.
Thank you, have a great day.
Thanks, you too, Your Honor.
I don't think he needs it. Yeah, your name, sir? Mr. Bethel, you're here today because you were arrested on a charge of battery, domestic violence by strangulation. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find that there is sufficient probable cause. Do you have a place, did you live with Alicia Bethel? Who is that? Is that your wife?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, you can't go back to the home that you're living with her for right now. So do you have another place to go?
I have nothing, no route.
Well, you can't go there. So what's going to happen if you bond out? Where are you going to go?
Your Honor, can I say something to the court?
Well, you can. It might not be in your best interest. Everything's being recorded here, and if you make an admission, it could be used against you.
Well, I really don't understand what's going on here. This is.
I can't understand yours. You can just lean in. Yeah, no, just lean into the microphone.
I said I really don't understand the depths of this. I don't have a clue what's going on here.
Well, I told you what happened was the charge is a battery, domestic violence with involving strangulation.
Is
Okay?
okay.
So that's what the allegation is. I will set a bond in the amount of $750.
Qualify for PTR.
He does? All right. I'll release you a pretrial release. That means there's no bond, but you can go, but you cannot return to your home. You have to find somewhere else to stay, all right? You can't go back to the 4521 Belvedere Street Road except one time. You can go back one time with law enforcement, okay, to pick up any personal items, clothing, or things like that. But you can't go back and stay there. And it'd be best if she's not there, but you have to go with law enforcement. If you show up without law enforcement, it's a violation of your PTR. No guns, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. And no contact with Alicia Bethel. You can't have any contact with her, okay? Now, I want to appoint a public defender. The public defender can speak with her, speak with the state, and maybe they can figure out what's going on and maybe change that. But for right now, no contact with her.
Do I come back to court?
Your attorney, you'll get information from the attorney, but yeah, you will have another court date. It'll be downtown.
All
right, for arraignment.
Okay.
All right. Good luck. Your name, sir?
Hold that, Collins.
All right, Mr. Collins, you're here today because you were arrested on charge of ag battery with a weapon. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. And Collins, yeah. And Brittany Douglas, do you live with Miss Douglas or no?
No, sir.
All right, so you wouldn't have any problem or with no contact? You don't have any reason to have any contact with her?
Sir.
All right, I'll set bond amount of $750. You're not to have any contact with Brittany Douglas. I'll appoint a public defender for you, and while you're out on bond, if you do bond out, no drugs, no weapons, no alcohol, and no guns.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All righty. No, because he doesn't live there. Tyson Mitchell.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Mitchell. Please raise your right hand. Solemnly swear testimony you're about to give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Your name?
Vita Jeniton.
All right. And you are the alleged victim in the case, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, tell me what you want me to know.
I told them that I didn't want to press no charges or anything, and then when they came back to the house, they said that they arrested him.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on.
So you wouldn't have any problem with him coming back home?
No, we stay together. We
Right.
pretty much in a relationship.
Now, if he comes home, do I need to tell him that there's no hostile contact, so he can't raise his voice or do anything like that way?
Yeah.
Okay,
And he does qualify for PTR, Your Honor.
all right. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna release your PTR, pretrial release, so you don't have to, there's no bond on that, you can just, you'll be able to go, but there are conditions, you're gonna have to call in, you're gonna have to stay up with them, okay?
Yes,
Not to possess any guns or weapons, no drugs or alcohol, no hostile contact with her, okay? You can't raise your voice, don't get upset with her, you can't throw anything in the house, don't do anything hostile to her, you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, great. All right,
Thank you, Your Honor.
that'll be on both counts.
Your Honor, were we appointed to that case?
Yes, point of public defender. Your name, sir?
Danny Pastrana.
What about Marvin Knoll? You refuse? Set it for tomorrow. Reset it. Yeah, I'll appoint a public defender, yeah. All right, let's see. Mr. Pastrana. And what about Anthony Wright? Medical. Same thing. Yeah, get a few gifts from my good friend. Well, what happened? I know, I saw that one. There we go, I got it. Which one, who we got? They switched.
Barbados?
Okay, gotcha. All right. Your name, ma'am?
Lisandra Barbosa.
Miss Barbosa, they got your name, I think, spelled wrong. They got
They
you as
did.
Barbados,
They did.
yeah. All right, but it's Barbosa? All right.
Yes.
You're here today because you're arrested on a charge of domestic violence battery. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. Do you live with Carlos Miranda?
I do.
All right, do you have another place to go if you get released?
No, I don't.
Nowhere at all? No family, no friends, because you're not going to be able to go back there. If he's there, you can't go there.
On paperwork, I'm the only one on the lease.
Doesn't matter. If that's his home, in other words, that's where he lives,
He's been living there for a year with me, but he's not on the lease.
understood, but that's his place right now. He is there by your invitation, so he's allowed to stay. It's not, that's just the way it is. Now, that might be able to get worked out through your attorneys, but for right now, you have to have another place to go. Because you're not going to be able to have contact with him. So, okay?
And she does qualify for PTR.
All right, I'll release your pretrial release, so there won't be a bond required, but you will have to keep checking in with the PTR folks, all right? I'm going to order that you not have any guns or weapons, no drugs or alcohol. You have no contact with Carlos Miranda, and you're not to return to 5550 PGA Boulevard, number 5138, other than one time. You can go back there one time with law enforcement to get any items you may need. So you have to find a place to stay. Now, if Mr. Miranda doesn't have any objection to you being there, the public defender's been appointed, they can contact him, and if he says that's okay and the state agrees, they can make it no hostile contact and you can go home. But for right now, you can't, okay? If you do, it's a violation. All right? Okay.
And you said no firearms. I have to go to work tomorrow and I carry a firearm.
Well, that's gonna be a problem, isn't it? You can't have a firearm right now. Okay? So, If you might need to let your employer know that you're not allowed to have one right now.
Okay.
Okay? Your name, ma'am?
Jill Beardshire.
All right, and sir, raise your right hand, please. Solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, your name?
Jesse Beardshire?
All right, and you are the alleged victim, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, tell me what I need to know.
I'm just gonna drop charges on the basis that she moves out of the house.
All right, so you don't have any reason, there's no reason to be in contact now?
Yeah.
All right, good.
If she can go to her mother's house and be gone, I'm good.
All right, good. All right, so, is she eligible?
Yes, she is.
All right, I'm gonna give you a pretrial release, so you don't have to make a bond. No contact with Jesse, all right? It doesn't sound like there's a need for a contact, you're not having any contact. Is all of her stuff out of the house?
No, I'll get it packed up. And
She can come back one time with law enforcement, or if you can go through your mother to set up a time to come and get stuff. But if you'd rather, she can come with law enforcement if that's up to you.
That's fine.
All right? No guns, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, and no contact with Jesse. All right?
Yes.
And I will appoint a public defender to represent you, so you have a lawyer. Your name, ma'am? Sarah. Last name?
Olivier.
Okay. Your name, well, first of all, raise your right hand. Solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
And your name?
Juan Cordero.
All right. Ms. Cordero, you're the alleged victim in the case, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me what I need to know.
Everything's fine between me and her. I just want her to come back home and be at normal again. It was a big misunderstanding.
All right. You don't have any fear or anything if she comes back?
No, sir.
Okay. You're going to be okay to go back home? Yes, sir. Okay. Whatever. She qualify?
She does not, Your Honor.
Mine got all out of order. I had them in order. That's why I have to keep asking
No
you.
problem, Your Honor.
I read through them all. Okay. All right. I will set bond the amount of $500 on the battery, $100 on the criminal mischief. I'll make it no hostile contact, all right? So she can come home, she can have contact, but you can't yell at him, can't scream at him, can't throw stuff around the house. No hostile contact, okay? Understood? All right. No guns, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, all right? And if she causes more trouble, you can just call law enforcement and she's back in, okay?
Yes.
I will appoint a public defender to represent you, okay? You're all set.
Right now.
Name, sir?
Danny Pastrana.
There we go. Yeah, I knew that was around. I knew I'd taken it out. As soon as I put it over there, I said, I'm going to forget. I don't want to lose it. All right, Mr. Pastrana, you're here today because you were arrested on a charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. Do you live at the 534 Madrigal Court address?
524, yes, sir.
524, okay. And does the alleged victim also live there?
Yes, I pay for everything.
Vanessa lives there?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have another place to go on the short term?
Yes.
Okay. So if I set a bond or release you, you're gonna have another place to go other than with her, okay? All right, where is he? Yes?
And he does qualify, yes, Your
All
Honor.
right. I'll release you on pretrial release. Now, there's no bond required, but that does require that you keep on contact with a pretrial release folks. You're gonna have to call in. There's some things you have to do to make sure that you're still not causing any trouble, all right? There'll be no contact, though, as it stands now with Vanessa until that gets changed by the domestic violence judge, all right? So no contact whatsoever, and no return to 524 Madrigal Court to your address. You can go back there one time with law enforcement, so you can pick up your items, some clothing, whatever you need.
Do I call in or like?
To call law enforcement? Yeah, you can call whatever jurisdiction you're in, or you can call sheriff's office, and they'll work it.
My wallet, like.
Yeah, all that stuff. You need to have a sheriff go with you. It's for your protection as well as hers, right? So if there's someone there that can say, nah, that didn't happen, right?
Yeah, there was people there when this whole thing happened.
Yeah.
Like,
All right.
There was nothing.
No contact with her, though, all right? No drugs, no alcohol, no guns, no weapons, okay? All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Holly will appoint a public defender, so you have a lawyer too. All right, your name, sir?
Sean Ragland.
All right, Mr. Ragland, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of battery, domestic violence. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and I do find sufficient probable cause. Do you live at the Jeff Fuqua Boulevard? Oh, no, that's the airport, isn't it?
4507 Rena Road, sir.
Oh, this was, you were on the flight. Okay, I remember this one. Is Jasmine, has she gone back home?
I have no contact with her.
You have no idea, okay. If you bond out or and you get out, and if you do go back to Maryland, you have a place to stay that is separate of her, from her? All right, because if I set a bond, I'm gonna have you have no contact with her, right, for right now, and then that may change, but for, on the short term, you understand? Okay, all right, I'll set bond in the amount of $500, no contact at all with Jasmine Teeshaun, Teeshaun. No guns, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. So just no contact, because it's, yeah, it's in Maryland too, so just, you know, we'll see how that goes. All right. William Struther?
Your Honor, he's medical.
Well, he doesn't have a public defender, does he? He didn't fill out, and he can't fill it out, so I can't appoint a public defender. So she can't, the public defender can't waive it because he didn't fill out the affidavit. Yeah, I have to. I'm just waiting for my email or phone call tomorrow. All right. Khalil Bethea? That's what I have now. What do you have? Who's he? Who's this fellow?
This is Kenny Anthony, but Juan Delgado, he's mental health.
Mental health. Delgado, it's like 2 or 3 down. All right. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is Kenny Anthony. What about Khalil Bethea and Brian Bradley? Actually, we got a bunch.
Do you have booking numbers for them, Your Honor?
Bethea, I have 210-192-11.
They bonded.
All right. The next one is 210-192-05.
Bonded.
All right. And the next one's 210-191-89. Kenny Etienne.
Piercy's still here, so I don't know
Okay.
if there's any reason he didn't come. Etienne?
This is
Yes.
Etienne right here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
he's right here.
okay.
Etienne right here, yeah. Kenny Etienne.
Okay, there we go. So we're back up to speed. Perfect.
Delgado.
Delgado was medical, right? Yeah. I reset him for tomorrow. All right, your name, sir?
Kenny Etienne.
All right, Mr. Etienne, you're here today because you're arrested on several charges: possession of methamphetamine, possession of cocaine, possession of cannabis with intent to sell, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, and resisting an officer without violence. I have reviewed the charging affidavits. I do find sufficient probable cause as to the count one, $1,000
You guys
count.
qualify for PTR.
He does?
Yeah.
All right. I'll release your pretrial release. Appoint a public defender to represent you on all counts.
And do you want any conditions with that, Your Honor?
Yeah, no drugs, no weapons. All right, can't possess any drugs or alcohol, no weapons, no guns. Okay? All righty. Your name, sir?
Jose Francisco Flores.
All right, sir, you're here because you're arrested on a number of charges: possession of fentanyl, possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of cannabis. I do have a question on the possession of fentanyl, because I think it was found in the other defendant's purse.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm not asking you a question, I'm asking the state. I don't want you to start talking about what happened, you may hurt yourself. I mean, I get all the others who was there, but they literally found it like in her purse.
Just a moment, please.
Because the straw had cocaine residue, so that would be the possession.
Is it possible because nobody advised ownership?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess it was within everyone's dominion and control since it was in the vehicle. Let's see, in the front.
And he also qualifies for PTR, Your Honor.
All right, well then, all right. What I'll do is, I'm gonna find OPC on the possession of fentanyl, so he'll be ROR'd on that, and then PTR on the additional 3 counts, and appoint a public defender. So I'm gonna release you through pretrial release. There's not a bond required, but there are conditions. In other words, you gotta keep up with them, and you gotta do what they ask you to do, okay? All right.
And any conditions for it, Your Honor? Like no
No drugs, no alcohol, no guns, no weapons, okay? Your name, sir?
Jackson Walter.
Mr. Jackson, you're here today because you were arrested on 2 charges, possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find that there was sufficient probable cause on those. And not qualified.
No, Your Honor, does not qualify.
Set bond amount of $1,000 on the possession of cocaine, $100 on the possession of drug paraphernalia. And I will appoint a public defender to represent you. Okay? Thank you. Your name, ma'am?
Martinez Delgado.
Yes, ma'am.
Martinez Delgado.
All right. You're here today because you're arrested on a charge of DUI manslaughter. I have read the charging affidavit, and I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. The state want to be heard as to bond.
The state would request an enhanced bond based on the severity of the charge and death.
All right. I'll set bond in the amount of $15,000. Did you want a public defender appointed to represent you?
I'm sorry.
Would you like a public defender appointed?
Yes, please.
All right, I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. Thank you, ma'am. Patricia Sasso, is that it? Yeah, we're set. Next. Your name, ma'am?
No,
Patricia Sasso?
I am. I'm sorry. I thought you said something else.
Okay. You are here today because you were arrested on a charge of grand theft, 3rd degree of a motor vehicle. I do find sufficient probable cause. Tip on the amount of $1,000. You also have a driving while license suspended with 3 subsequent. There was originally $2,500. I'll reduce that bond to $500. And there's a possession of drug paraphernalia, which I'll reduce to $100.
Thank you.
Want a public defender to be appointed?
Please.
I'll appoint a public defender to represent you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I know, and they're all on different papers, so you gotta fill in each one instead of being one. Your name, sir?
Scott.
Mr. Scott, you're here today because you're arrested on a couple of charges. First of all, you're arrested on a charge of possession of cocaine. I have read the charging affidavit, and I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. So we'll set bond amount of $1,000 on that. Second of all, there was a possession of ammunition. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was a possession of ammunition by a convicted felon. Let me make sure this was the one. Was there anything? All right, I'll set bond in that case in the amount of $500. And then alcoholic beverage, open container, $100. Reduce the bond on that. Did you want a public defender to represent you? All right, I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. Again, 3 charges, 3 different sheets. All right, your name, sir?
Mario Taylor.
All right, Mr. Taylor, you're here because you're arrested on a charge of driving while suspended as an habitual traffic offender. I do find sufficient probable cause. I'll set bond, reduce the bond to $500. Did you want a public defender to represent you?
Sure.
I'll appoint a public defender to represent you.
Sir.
Your name, sir?
Mr. Todd.
All right, Mr. Todd. You're here because you're arrested on a possession of heroin, possession of fentanyl. I don't know about you, State, but I got nothing. Have you looked at this
I
one?
was gonna say, I'm sure you.
It just says, I mean, it just says he did commit the crime of possession of heroin, possession of fentanyl. but there's no facts there.
The state has 24 hours to obtain.
All right, so I'll leave the bonds at $1,000, so you still got bonds, but I'm gonna reset it for tomorrow. If the state doesn't come up with, the sufficient probable cause, because there's nothing in the report, then I expect that they should release you, okay? So you'll come back tomorrow. I will appoint a public defender for you today, though, so you have a lawyer, okay? Maybe. Your name, sir? Your name?
Jose Velez.
All right, Mr. Velez, you're here today because you were arrested and charged with burglary of a dwelling and grand theft of a dwelling of $100 or more. I do find sufficient probable cause, except on the amount of $5,000, or stay the bonds of $5,000 on the burglary of a dwelling and $150 on the grand theft of a dwelling. Do you want a public defender appointed to represent you? Like a lawyer?
Sir.
All right, I'll appoint a public defender for you. Your name, sir?
Walker.
All right, Mr. Walker, you're here today because you were arrested on 3 charges. Burglary of a dwelling, unarmed, a nuisance, injurious to health, and damage to property of criminal mischief. I have read the charging affidavit, and I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. The bond on the burglary will be set at $5,000, $100 on each of the additional counts. I don't have an affidavit. Did you want a public defender appointed to represent you?
Sir.
You gonna represent yourself?
I'm gonna get a lawyer.
You're gonna get a lawyer? Okay, all right. All righty, you're all set. Your name, sir?
Kelvin Williams.
All right, Mr. Williams, you're here today because you were arrested on a probable cause warrant for the charge of burglary of an unoccupied dwelling. Bond was set in the amount of $2,500 in that case. I don't have an affidavit. Did you want a public defender appointed to represent you?
No, I'm representing
All right, you represent yourself. All righty. You're all set.
Yes.
All right. Your name, sir?
Commissioner Adams, sir. You hear me with the man?
Yes. Okay. Your name, sir? I'm sorry.
Adams.
Mr. Adams, you're here today because you were arrested on 2 charges of contempt of court for violating a injunction for stalking.
That was months ago.
Let's see.
That case was dismissed.
Let's see, let me see what we got here. When was that warrant issued?
Yeah, she went on.
Yeah, May of 2021. There is no bond on those, and we'll see. So, okay, I don't know, this,
I work, Your Honor. I got a real good job. I'm supposed to be at work right now.
because it's from there.
I'm supposed to be at work right now.
There's no affidavit. Yeah, and those conditions. So the conditions will
Pre-trial
remain.
release?
No, I don't think, you don't qualify.
Doesn't qualify, Your
I
Honor.
have some information if you would like.
What do you have? What do you have?
Well, I have the victim Sandra and defendant formerly dated, temporary stalking injunction in 2021 DR 1305, ordered on February 3rd of 21. It was served on February 8th of 21. On February 16th of 21, defendant showed up at victim's residence around 8 in the morning, and victim left. Upon returning home, defendant was gone. Around 2:30 p.m., victim was traveling in her vehicle, and the defendant caught sight of her and followed her home, began banging on her door, stating he was trying to give her a court document, and then the defendant fled. There is a note that they're only recommending 2 counts of violation of injunction, as the 2 violations together are only separated by a few hours. Did not meet the standard of being able to prove the course of conduct for aggravated stalking.
Your Honor, may I say something to that?
Well, you might not be helping yourself if you do, because everything's being recorded in here.
No, I believe it was dismissed. I mean, she went on with her life, I went on with mine. I'm in the process of getting married now, so.
Your Honor, as to that, there is a note saying on March 29th, the injunction.
What's that?
The injunction was dismissed on March 29th, according to the clerk's website.
But the violations were before that. Let me
Oh,
just
okay.
take a look and see what this is. Because they do have case numbers on here. At least one of them. Yeah, there was an information filed for 2 counts of violation of injunction on April 24th, except for arraignment for August the 18th.
I think I had colitis. I had a stomach virus then.
Originally, it was a felony case and it got bumped down, but they filed a misdemeanor. Oh, it is interesting. Okay, so it's 2 counts, yeah. No, I mean, it's very possibly, the fact that she dropped the injunction doesn't necessarily mean that there wasn't a violation beforehand. They may not go forward on this, but there is currently 2 charges. There's 1 charge with 2 counts for this, so I'll appoint the public defender. You may have had the public defender when it was a felony, my guess is. Let me see.
I don't believe we're appointed, Your Honor.
No? Okay. Well, I will appoint a public defender to represent you. It's in front of Judge Cameron. Yeah, they bumped it down from felony. So, yeah, I'm gonna stay, I'll stay it at no bond. Want a public defender to represent you on that, and then they can see what the judge will want to do. Yeah, no contact, no return. Sounds like you've already moved on to that, but don't have any contact with her. Don't return to that address. Don't do anything if they do. Yeah, no weapons. Okay. All right, thank you, sir.
Mr. Adams, someone from our office will come speak with you, okay?
Yeah, I'm not gonna, those are Judge Cameron's bonds. He can deal with it.
I still gotta stay in here.
Someone
Yeah.
from our office will come speak with you soon, okay?
I lost my job again.
I don't know what to tell you.
Started the job. I'm in the process of getting married. I just lost my job again.
All right, I'll set a bond. It's gonna be $2,500 a count. All right, so you can get out, but no contact with her if you get out. And the public defender will talk to you about that.
Yeah, we'll talk to you, okay?
All right? He doesn't qualify for PTR, what am I gonna do? Okay. Brandon Jenkins.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Jenkins, you're here. You were arrested on a warrant for failing to appear on a petty theft charge. No PTR, no PCR. I will, the bond is $5,000. I'll reduce the bond to $1,500. Okay? Yeah, appoint a public defender. Sure, they probably already had one, but, no? All right. Your name, sir?
Philip Rivers.
All right, Mr. Rivers, you're here today because you failed to appear for a plea hearing on August the 3rd on a petty theft charge. Bond is set in the amount of $2,000. I will take no action on your possession of cocaine bond that you're already out on. All right, did you want a public defender on that other charge, or did you already have a lawyer?
Your Honor, we're already appointed.
You're already appointed? Okay, all right. Your name, sir?
Luis Castro.
What happened to Amber Benfield? She bond?
You have a booking number for them, Your Honor?
210-192-12. Was a no valid, so she probably, she did?
Hey, bond, yes.
Wow, $1,000 bond on a no valid? Wow. Your name, sir? I'm sorry.
Luis Castro.
There we go. All right, Mr. Castro, you're here today because you were arrested on a charge of driving while license suspended. I do find sufficient probable cause.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll reduce your bond to $250. I don't know, you know what? Let me see. Where is that? Do you have any prior driving while suspended?
As far as I know, my
That's
license.
never like that type of qualifier.
I have a couple tickets that I haven't paid for because I couldn't afford to pay it at the time, and it suspended my license. And I was pulled over yesterday for driving on the suspended license.
Well, the reason I ask you is I'd be willing to resolve the case today. But if you have 3 driving while license suspended or other qualifying offenses within 5 years, you lose your license for 5 years.
I was, Your Honor, I do fully intend to pay the tickets. I just haven't had the money to do it
All right,
yet.
doesn't look like you have any priors from the driving record that they provided me. So if you want to resolve it, you could, otherwise I'll set the bond 250, you can bond out and try to, if you get it fixed, and depending on what judges gets assigned to, it's 82. Who's 82? Yeah, if you bring a license to Judge Dubois, get it fixed before your arraignment and come in, he'll dismiss it, and I'll save you the court costs.
So, Your Honor, so I can pay the tickets that I already owe, and then I can come in and show the proof, and then I can get my case dismissed, is what you're saying?
Yeah, well, what you gotta do is wherever the tickets are, contact the clerk and pay those tickets. Then you gotta get your license reinstated, but bring a driver's license to the arraignment, and Judge Dubois almost always will dismiss it, yeah.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right, so I reduced the bond to 250 so you can bond out on it.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. I
Yeah.
very much
Do
appreciate
you want a public defender to represent you? Want a lawyer?
it. Yeah, I think.
All right, I'll appoint a public defender. Yeah, there may be something that they can help you with as far as you may need some help and get something, motion to be filed or something, okay?
Thank you.
All righty. Your name, sir?
Adrian John.
All right, sir, you're here today because you were arrested on a charge of driving under the influence. I do find sufficient probable cause, bond set in the amount of $500. He doesn't qualify?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Do you want a public defender appointed to represent you?
Yes, sir.
Appoint a public defender to represent you. You're all set. Thank you. Man, come on now. I'm not gonna do better than yesterday. Your name, sir?
Benton Samuel.
All right, Mr. Benton, you're here today because you were arrested on charge of resisting without violence. This is in the pleables, so is there an offer or?
Oh, yeah, offers have been made, I believe, on all these.
Your Honor, there was an offer, however, I wanted to see if it was possible.
You might want to be able to,
Yeah,
yeah.
as well.
All right, I'll set bond in the amount of 250 unless he qualifies.
No, Your Honor.
Appoint a public defender. You can probably watch a video in this case or look at some information and they may drop it.
Please.
Yeah, so your attorney, you have an attorney, they'll let you know. They'll talk to you about it, okay? Oh, yeah, that's much better. And maybe if my hair starts blowing out, it'll look like I'm in Baywatch. Your name, sir?
Daniel Feliciano.
Mr. Feliciano, you're here today on a couple of charges. First of all, possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find sufficient probable cause. No, that's great, thank you. Set bond in the amount of $500. You're also here on a violation of probation, which is from, it's not a county violation. And I'm trying to see where that was.
Osceola, Your Honor.
From Osceola County, there is no bond on that. Did you want a public defender to be appointed on your possession of paraphernalia?
Yes.
All right, appoint a public defender on that. Thank you.
Is there an offer?
Well,
There's an offer.
you have an out-of-county, a violation of probation out of Osceola,
Right, we also want to see if.
so you're not getting out, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but I get to go to Osceola County and handle the violation.
That's true.
We'll come talk to you.
They'll talk to you.
Yeah.
That is true. Well, here's a familiar person. You left here and must have gone, allegedly went directly to the airport.
Yes, that's correct.
So I know if you want to resolve it, you can, but I'm not going to give you time served this time. You're going to have to do some jail time.
Okay,
I told you not to go back there.
I understand that. I know, Your Honor. That's why I was like, I thought I was going to have an attorney, but that didn't.
So, I mean, I'll set a bond. I do find a sufficient probable cause. I'll set a bond in the amount of $250. I'll reduce it. But if you want to resolve it,
Yes,
15 days. So you're gonna have to do a couple weeks. Just because it was literally yesterday that you pled the time served.
'cause I thought I was supposed to stay until I get an attorney, to help my life and my situation.
Well, this way you can. I'll appoint a public defender and then we'll just set it for a pretrial and that way they can help you, okay?
All right.
So we'll do that. Set bond 250, appoint a public defender.
All right, thank you.
All righty, take care. Good luck. Bon voyage. Your name, ma'am?
Rebecca Van Cooney.
Ma'am, you're here today because you were arrested on a charge of trespass after warning.
Am I
I do find sufficient probable cause. Do you want to resolve that case today?
Can I, please?
Is there an offer? Is
There
it
was
time
not an
served?
offer because victim input would be needed due to the nature of the trespass. I believe it's at her mother's house, or is that a relative?
Oh,
They let me stay the night before. It doesn't make any sense. But then my niece and them
Yes.
came.
okay, so you need to talk to them?
Yeah, you're right. Unless you want to plead the court, but.
Well, if I give you a time served, you're not gonna go back there, are you?
No, sir.
Now, the last lady said that, and literally, she went right
No-
back to where
No,
I
sir.
told her.
I do have stuff there, but if I will have, call non-emergency police department and have them escort.
There
me.
you go, perfect, there's your answer. So do you want to resolve this?
Yes, please.
Do you want to plead no contest?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any, raise your right hand, I'm sorry, raise your hand. Solemnly swear testimony you're about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
No.
Have you suffered from or been treated for any mental illness?
Yes.
You understand what's happening here, though,
Yes.
today? You understand what the charge are about? Obviously, you told me about some facts. You understand that by entering your plea today, you're giving up certain rights, the right to have a lawyer appointed to represent you, the right to proceed to trial, the right to require the state to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt at the trial, the right to question any witnesses the state would bring to testify against you, the right to bring any witnesses that you may wish to bring to your trial, and also the right to testify or refuse to testify. You understand? All right, finally, understand this is punishable by up to a year in the county jail, up to $1,000 fine, and that the entry of your plea would result in deportation if you're not a citizen. Understand?
Yes.
All right, I will accept your plea. I withhold adjudication and sentence you to time served, court costs, and a $50 cost of prosecution. It's a total of $273. I'll let you pay that in the next year. Just anytime in the next year, get it paid off.
Okay, thank you.
Do not go back. This is an order of the court.
Okay.
Do not return to 10897 Second Avenue. Okay, don't go back there. All right, you understand?
I'm supposed to be.
Other than if you get law enforcement to go one time with you to get your stuff.
My mom and dad know that I'm having, my ID and my food stamp card sent to their house. They okayed that to happen.
Okay,
So, I can call there, right, and ask them, and then maybe they can meet me at the mailbox or something and hand it.
you can call them, that's
Okay.
right. You can do that,
Okay.
okay?
No
All right,
Thank you. Thank
all
you,
righty,
sir.
good luck. Yeah, one time return, and then she can have phone contact with them, but not to return there. I don't think that matters since it's. No, I didn't, so yeah, it doesn't, so you don't have to worry about it. Yep. All right, yep. Gene Cruz. Medical, all right, it's a $1,000, we don't need to reset him, $1,000 on the out-of-county warrant. Yeah, I'll waive his appearance. See, that way you can say I did waive. What about, Dewan, Gines or Gines?
Behavior.
What's that?
Behavior, Your Honor.
Behavior. All right, out-of-county warrant, waive appearance, $1,995. Bond on the out-of-county warrant.
Sorry.
Jerome Johnson. You are Mr. Johnson?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Johnson, you were picked up on a writ of bodily attachment out of Polk County. The purge or bond on that is $26,238.89. So that's, I guess, the amount of the child support.
Which I do not have. I don't understand how I got a warrant anyways, and, cause they take money out of my check, like every check I get. And I don't understand how that even came possible.
They'll be in contact with Orange County to figure that out, but obviously this amount is very specific, which indicates to me that it must be what they feel you owe. So you have to figure that out, okay? I'm sure they'll be setting you for a hearing now, all righty?
Okay, so you know how long it's gonna take for them to come get me?
No idea. Because of the COVID, who knows? But they can only hold you a certain amount of times. They'll have to come and get you. I don't know that, quite honestly. All righty, take care. Your name, ma'am? All right, Ms. Rivera, you're arrested on an out-of-county warrant from Marion County.
Yes.
For failure to appear to be fingerprinted on a driving license suspended charge.
So the driving was suspended. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I talk or no?
Yeah.
Okay. I showed up to that court date, and the case was closed. He just told me I had to come back to do fingerprints. I went back to the date that I was issued to take fingerprints.
Yeah.
When I went, the lady told me they were not doing fingerprints that day. I gave her my ID and I signed a paper. I was calling for 2 months straight, and then the lady I talked to, she said, your case is closed, you should be good, we don't need them anymore. So I stopped calling.
Well, the thing that I find incredible is Marion County issued a no bond warrant because she didn't show up to give her fingerprints. So I'm gonna set bond in the amount of $100. I don't care if they get in trouble on that one, that doesn't make any sense to me. Now, when so you have to pay $100 and then you can go on your way, get a bondsman to float it.
Okay, I have a
Yes,
question.
and then I'm going to order you to go back within 7 days of your release. So as soon as you bond out, you need to go back to Marion County to give your fingerprints.
Okay, that was my next question, if I could just
Yep.
right here.
Yeah, I mean, it says on there, it actually makes it sound like whoever picked it up, that the judge, wherever you're at, could do it. But we're not gonna do that. That's too much trouble. Because it
Okay.
doesn't make any sense. You would have no bond. I'm gonna set a bond. 7 days of your release, you gotta return to Marion County and give your fingerprints.
Okay, I'll go tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Alrighty.
Was Cruz?
And here's our resets. Okay, these are resets from yesterday. Marcus Brock.
He refused.
All right, waive his appearance, set bond $2,500 on the grand theft, $100 on the criminal mischief. That's from the arrest warrant. Charlotte Minerva.
Another
Mental health?
case, Your Honor,
Oh, yeah, public defender on that as well. What's that?
looks like Brock has another case. He also has a possession of heroin and a drug paraphernalia.
Did he? I didn't see it. Was there two?
There's another PE case.
I only have one. Did you have two yesterday maybe and one got dropped off?
He was reset on both of them yesterday for today, both cases.
What was the other case?
The other case was 2021 CF 99557AO.
All right, and what was it? Possession of heroin?
Possession of heroin and a possession of drug
All
paraphernalia.
right, waive his appearance and then I'll stay the bonds on that as well. Yeah, one more time, 2021.
2021 CF 0099557AO, which is too
Yeah.
many numbers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess
It probably starts with the 5, so
Yeah.
just go right to that. 5,
it's probably the 9557AO.
yeah, 9577. I bet that's
They
it.
put too many in.
That always, is that it? Yeah, stay the bonds at the 5,000 and whatever it was before. Waive his appearance. Charlotte Minerva.
Mental health, Your Honor.
All right, waive her appearance, stay the bonds as contained, do find probable cause. Let me see.
That was
Yeah.
actually no info on Friday, so.
That
we
one
took
was
out
the other case?
Her out on bond was no info, so
Okay,
that
all
was
right.
taken out.
So no action, yeah.
And then staying the bonds on all her cases.
PD appointed. Larry Harrison.
Medical.
All right, waive his appearance, $5,000 on carrying concealed weapon. But he's gotta, just stay all those bonds. Actually, you know what, we'll set a $500 bond on the domestic violence, no contact with the alleged victim. Let me see if I can find that for you real quick. Albert Williams is the victim. And no return to 601 North John Young Parkway.
And he had a FAD added, Your Honor. He's out on mental health pretrial release in 2021 CF 004262AO.
I have that. That's on Harrison?
On Harrison, yes.
Yeah.
It was added just before.
All right, revoke that. And make that one a no bond for right now. That'll take care
Okay,
of the
yeah.
issue. And all other special conditions are, no drugs, no alcohol, no guns, no weapons on the domestic violence. Okay? Sure, yeah, we went through a lot there real quick. Gonna be close to 1:30 though.
Your Honor, was the PD appointed to Harrison?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, all the waived ones up on the PD. All right. That's the other one? Okay. All right, your name, sir?
James Holly.
All right, Mr. Holly, you were arrested on 2 charges, possession of firearm or ammo by convicted felon and possession of fentanyl. I do find sufficient probable cause, set bond the amount of $1,000 on the possession of firearm and $1,000 to fentanyl. And I guess that they say you didn't qualify for a public defender.
Why not?
Do you have any dependents? Kids or anyone that you're responsible for?
Yeah, I have 7 children.
Oh, yeah, you qualify. 700 a week with 7 kids. Yeah, point of public defender. I think once you have 7 kids, it's just automatic, right? It should be.
And my youngest son, he just got he started school and his teacher had COVID. So
Well, I'm going to appoint a PD for it, so you do have a lawyer, you do qualify. All right?
thank you. And I said, did I get a bond amount?
Yeah, there's 1,000 and 1,000.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
I set a bond on the other one.
Your Honor, George Moore's behavior.
All right. Then I'll waive his appearance, stay the bond. Let me see what we got here. All right, set bond the amount of $1,500. Go ahead, someone. No contact with ERYANA Glass, Arania Glass. I don't know what their address is because that's not where it happened. No contact with her and not to return to her home. No guns, no drugs, no weapons, no alcohol. And appoint a public defender. Tyler Robert Scott.
He refused, Your Honor.
All right, waive his appearance. Stay bond $2,500. Appoint a public defender. Andrea Sharber. All right, Ms. Sharber, you're here today because you were arrested on 2 charges, resisting an officer without violence and soliciting without a permit. I did find sufficient probable cause. Stay those bonds $500 and $150. Did you want a public defender appointed to represent you?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. Your name, sir?
Edward Starcher.
All right, Mr. Starcher, you're here today because you were arrested on several charges, possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and soliciting without a permit. I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. Possession of cocaine bond set of $1,000. The possession of drug paraphernalia are reduced to $100, and the soliciting without permit are reduced to $100. And let's see, what was he out on bond on? You were ROR'd on a possession of amphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of fentanyl. I'm going to revoke the ROR and set a new bond of $500 on each count. And I'll appoint a public defender for you on the new case.
Can I request to be sentenced now?
To what?
I request to be sentenced on the case.
To be sentenced on the case? I can't do that. It's a felony case, and I don't know that you've even pled on those cases. So no, can't do it, sorry. You'll have a public defender, they'll straighten it out for you. Dante Sylvester. You are Mr. Sylvester?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're here today because you're arrested on 2 charges. Possession of, what is it? Yeah, I see. All right. All right, possession of, I guess it's an opioid they charged. And also bringing contraband into the facility. I'll stay the bond at $2,500 on the first count, reduce the second one to $100. You also had a fraudulent use of a personal identity or benefit, bond amount of $2,500, fraudulent use of credit card, reduce that to $250. And I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. Okay. Oh, wait, we got another one. There's a VOP also, violation of probation for possession of Alprazolam. There is no bond on that.
He's also out on bond, Your Honor.
And you're also out on bond for ag assault with a firearm. I'll revoke that bond and set no bond on that. Wow. Your name, sir?
Michael Vargas.
Mr. Vargas, you're here because you're arrested on a warrant for failing to appear on a possession of fentanyl for failure to appear on a plea hearing on July 30th in Division 22, whoever that is. So there is no bond on that. Okay, and you already have Ms. Barr from RCC, so you do have a lawyer already, okay? Thank you. No bond for failure to appear, harsh. Okay, Anthony Johnson.
Yes. Your Honor, just David James, he refused. Davis James?
You have him? The only ones I have left are Chad Youngworth, Alan Stotts, and Anthony Johnson.
Okay. This is Mr. Johnson.
Yes,
All right, Mr. Johnson.
yes, sir.
I don't know what he said there. Oh, the one that we already did. Okay, got it. All right, Mr. Johnson, you're here because you're arrested on a charge of camping.
Yes.
Do you wish to resolve that case to time served and court costs?
Yes, please.
All right, raise your right hand. You solemnly swear a testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
That's true.
All right. You're gonna, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
No.
Have you suffered from or been treated for any mental illness in the past?
Yes.
All right, do you understand what's going on here today, though?
Yes.
All right. You understand that by entering your plea to this camping charge, you will be waiving your right to have a lawyer appointed, the right to proceed to trial, the right to require the state to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt at that trial, the right to question any witnesses the state may call against you, the right to call your own witnesses, and the right to testify or refuse to testify. You understand that?
Yes.
You also understand finally that this is punishable by up to 60 days in jail, up to a $500 fine, and that the entry of your plea would result in deportation if you're not a citizen. Understand?
Yes.
All right, I do find sufficient factual basis. I'll withhold adjudication. Sentence you to just court costs and a $50 cost of prosecution. It's a total of $273. And just have you pay that to the clerk within a year. Okay?
Okay.
You'll be released as to this case.
Okay, thank you.
Less, so it's 223 and 10 or something like that, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I think they usually do. Yeah, oh, they haven't even filed it yet, so there shouldn't be a 10. Yeah. Your name, sir?
Chad David Drungworth.
Mr. Jungworth, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of camping.
Yep.
I do find sufficient probable cause. Did you want to resolve your case today?
Yes, please.
Do you want to enter a plea of no contest?
That'd be fine.
All right, raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol today?
No,
Have you suffered from or been treated for any mental illness in the past?
I'm sorry, I missed that part.
Have you suffered from or been treated for any mental illness in the past?
No, sir.
All right, you understand that by giving up, or by entering this plea of no contest to this charge, you are giving up certain rights, the right to proceed to trial, the right to have a lawyer represent you if you cannot afford one, the right to require the state to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, the right to question any witnesses the state may bring against you, the right to present your own witnesses, and finally, the right to testify or refuse to testify. You understand you're giving up those rights?
Yes, sir.
You also understand that this is punishable by up to 60 days in jail, up to a $500 fine, and that the entry of your plea would result in deportation if you're not a citizen.
Yes, sir.
All right, do you find sufficient factual basis to accept your plea? I'll withhold adjudication, impose court costs to the city also.
Okay.
Court costs, and then, so can you pay that within a year, okay?
Yep.
All righty, you'll be released.
Thank
as
you.
to this case. All right, last but not least. Your name, sir?
Alan Stutz.
Mr. Stotts, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of camping or sleeping on the street. Did you want to resolve that case today?
Well, I don't think I was guilty, to be honest with you, because the night before, I was staying at the park over by the Salvation Army. I've been
Right,
trying
at the
to
coalition.
trying to find a homeless shelter, and the police said as long as I didn't sleep on private property, I could sleep. That's why I slept there.
Okay, well, do you want to resolve it today? Just
Well,
enter no
I have other cases. What's going to happen? I have other cases pending in Massachusetts, which I'm probably going to be held on.
Well, not as of right now.
No?
We don't have anything. So what I'm telling you is, sometimes you can beat the undertaker to the the graveyard, maybe if you want to resolve your case today, you could resolve it, you might be out before they realize, it's the old Irish saying, maybe you'll be dead 2 hours before the devil knows you're dead or something like that.
My biggest problem, sir, I have no place to stay.
All right, well, do you just want to stay here then? I'll just set a bond of $100 and then, and I'll appoint a public defender for you.
Okay.
All right, okay, there you go.
I
You're all
appreciate it.
set. All righty, you too, take care. All righty, 140, so, yeah, a little bit.